Sarvapriyananda needs no introduction. We all know him through YouTube and wonderful lectures that he gives. He is perhaps the most popular and perhaps one of the best speakers of our order. You all know he is head of our New York Center. To give his formal introduction that we do. Swami Sarvapriyananda has been appointed as Minister and Spiritual Leader of the Vedantic Society of New York and assumed his duties here on January 6, 2017. Prior to this, he served as Assistant Minister of the Vedantic Society of Southern California for 13 months, beginning on December 3, 2015. Swami joined the Ramakrishna Math and Mission in 1994 and received sannyasa in 2004. Before being posted to the VSSC's Hollywood Temple, Swami served as an acharya, the teacher of the Monastic Probationers Training Center at Belur Math. He has served the Ramakrishna Math and Mission in various capacities, including being the Vice Principal of the Deogar Vidyapith High Secondary School, Principal of the Shikshana Mandira Teacher Education College at Belur Math, and the first Registrar of the Vivekananda University at Belur Math. Before he begins to talk, I would request all you to please switch off your phone or make it on the silent mode. One single ring will be too loud. So please check your phone that is in silent mode at least. Those who are standing outside, if there is no space, you can come here and sit down or go upstairs. There are about 20 seats upstairs. From there also you can listen and watch the Swami speaking. Now I would request Swami Sarvapriyananda to deliver his talk. Hope you all know the topic is talk. If you don't know, we'll hear from him. Swami Sarvapriyananda.
Good evening, everybody. I offer my pranams to Revered Maharaj for arranging this talk, this wonderful evening to meet all of you here. The subject, as Maharaj indicated, is Vedantic meditation. Vedantic meditation. Meditation is very popular today. There's a wide range of meditation, especially in this internet age. Swamiji was referring to YouTube. I think it's very difficult to live down that reputation. I remember I was going to one of our ashramas, this was in Washington, D.C., in Maryland actually. And as I was entering the ashrama, I could see those ladies, there's a group of ladies preparing the food there, and they were looking out of the window and looking very curiously at me. And I overheard, they were speaking to each other. They were saying, "Oh look, just like YouTube." In Bengali they were saying actually, "Dekho, dekho, ekelare YouTube." So it's very difficult to live down that reputation. But in this age, one thing it has done is a wide range of spiritual philosophies, techniques have been spread across the world. So many different types of meditation are now available. You can go to Buddhist Vipassana, where you are asked to concentrate on the breath, aware of the in-breath, aware of the out-breath. You can do the Siddha Yoga meditation, which is based on Kashmir Shaivism, where in breathing in and breathing out, you do the Hamsa mantra, breathing in Hum and breathing out Sa, which is equal to the Soham mantra. You can do a Kundalini meditation, you can do a Tantric meditation. Many of us here are initiated into a mantra and deity visualization meditation. You can do Patanjali Yoga meditation. You can do a modernized form of Vipassana meditation, which is very popular in the United States, especially now. Mindfulness, which is very popular across schools, colleges, boardrooms, corporate boardrooms, prisons, everywhere. So wide variety of meditation techniques are now easily available, are being taught. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who came to New York long ago and popularized what came to be known as transcendental meditation. Now I heard a story about him. I don't know how true it is, but it's very instructive. He came and taught this technique of meditation and its many benefits. When he went back to India in one of the early years, his brother monks asked him, "What is this that you are teaching the people in the West? That this meditation, it will, you'll manage your tension, your blood pressure will be low, your immune system will be stronger, you will look younger." All of these things, this is not what meditation is for. Now remember, it's not that these things don't happen. They are very good benefits, but they are side benefits. They are plus, bonus. But that's not the main purpose of meditation. And he replied, he said something interesting. It seems. He said, "I give them what they want so that they will want what I want to give them." What does he want to give them? That is the real purpose of meditation. What is the real purpose of meditation? Somebody came to a monk and asked, "Dhyan sikhaiye, teach me meditation." The monk said, what do you want to achieve through meditation? "Oh, I am disturbed by so many kinds of thoughts. I want that my meditation should be good." "What is good meditation?" "When I will not be disturbed by so many thoughts, my mind will be calm." He said in Hindi, "To so ja, fall asleep, go to sleep. All thoughts will disturb, good and bad, and all thoughts will disappear." Right? That is not even the purpose of meditation, that I will not be disturbed by certain thoughts. It's still possible. That's also an effect you can have. But that's not the purpose of meditation. What is the purpose of meditation? The real purpose of meditation. In all the spiritual traditions of the world, there is a central purpose of meditation. Why we have meditation? Just a little while ago we were chanting Vishnu Sahasranam. At the end we had the Pranam mantra, Shanta Akaram. At the end, do you remember what was there? Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhir Dhyanagamyam. Vishnu is described as Lakshmi Kanta, the Lord of Lakshmi. Kamalanayanam, lotus-eyed one, realizable, knowable, attainable by the yogis in deep meditation. Yogi Bhir Dhyanagamyam. How interesting that we were listening to the gospel reading, read so nicely by Buddhadev, that there Sri Ramakrishna uses almost the same language. Notice he says, what do we have to do with the splendors of God? Dive deep, dive deep. What does the Lord want with your jewels? The Lord is Lakshmi Kanta. He uses the same terminology. It's an uncanny coincidence, I would say. Dive deep. What will you attain by diving deep? By diving deep one attains, he says, Talatal Khunjle Pabi, Prem Ratnadhan. You will attain the bliss of divine love, Parabhakti, when you dive deep in meditation. That is the purpose of meditation. The vision of the Lord is the purpose of meditation. Attainment of divine, the loving relationship is the purpose of meditation. In another language, in the language of Patanjali Yoga, perhaps the oldest manual of meditation available to us. What is the purpose of meditation? Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the second sutra says, what is yoga? It is the cessation of the movements of the mind. Meditation. Samadhi. Why? Blood pressure come ho jayega? No. I'll get good sleep at night. No. Not that. What is the purpose of meditation? Third sutra. Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. At that state of the mind, when the mind is absolutely calm, Swami Vivekananda says, like a lake, limpid, crystal clear water, waveless, without any ripples. When the mind is absolutely calm, the drashta, the real nature of ourselves, the witness consciousness, is appreciated in its real nature, as it is, apart from the mind. We realize our existence apart from the mind. That is the purpose of meditation. The Buddhist meditates vipassana. In breath, I am aware and breathing in. Out breath, I am aware and breathing out. In breath and out breath, anchor the mind to that and be aware of sensations rising and falling. You realize the emptiness of what you thought was the self. What we thought that I am this dissolves away. You see, the body is a whirling mass of change. The mind is a whirling mass of change. And I am none of this. The empty nature of phenomena is realized. That is the purpose of meditation in Buddhism. The purpose of meditation, whether in the Bhakti traditions or in the yogic tradition, in the Buddhist tradition, in the Vedantic tradition, all of them, the central purpose of meditation is spiritual realization. Call it moksha, nirvana, kaivalya, God realization, whatever you call it. That is the actual purpose of meditation. Again, I will repeat. All the benefits that we hear about, and that's why meditation is so popular in this fast-paced life. Manhattan, city that never sleeps. They should sleep more, I think. That's my feeling after. It is useful, no doubt about it. No doubt about it that meditation has many benefits. I think papers have also been written and they have proven the health benefits of meditation. Benefits for physical health, benefits for mental health. Absolutely. Absolutely. Those 100%, I'm sure they all work. But the purpose is not that. The purpose is enlightenment, God realization. As I said, many types of meditation are there. Today I am going to speak about something that is rarely spoken about. Vedantic meditation. And by Vedanta I mean, as I usually do, Advaita Vedanta, the non-dual Vedanta. So what is the purpose of meditation in non-dual Vedanta? What does non-dual Vedanta say? I am Brahman. That thou art. Tat Tvamasi. That thou art, if somebody comes for the first time, listen to that, what that? Is it something good or bad? Are you insulting me? That thou art that? Advaita Vedanta says, you are the ultimate reality of the universe. But if you know yourself as you are, your real nature, if only, Swami Vivekananda used to say here in the West, he would talk to his Western disciples and say, if only you knew yourself as you truly are. Right now, as we are, we don't know that. We don't know that. What we know about ourselves is immediately this. I was on the plane from Halifax yesterday, and in the next seat there was a mother with her baby. The baby was a 17-month-old daughter, Victoria. I don't know if they're watching this. But it was very instructive. The mother and the father were pointing out different things, and this is called a cookie, this is called a magazine. Look, there's a cloud outside, and she had a little toy. This is Mr. Bear. She couldn't speak, but she understood. I learned something that I think most mothers here know that. I didn't know that. I learned that immediately. I noticed the child couldn't speak. But, made sounds, but she didn't couldn't deploy language yet, and yet she understood language. So I think probably parents know this, that babies, they understand before they can speak. They understand much before they can speak. So she understood. Then the mother showed her picture, the baby's picture in the mobile phone, Victoria's picture in the mobile phone, and said, "Who is this?" And the baby went, and she was always looking at me because I think she was attracted by this color or something. Whatever she wanted to say, she would look at me and tell. So when the mother showed, "Who is this?" Little baby Victoria, she turned towards me and with a big grin, she I. Look, immediately, that body, that picture, that's me. That body is this body, and this body I am. You see, when you're pointing out, book, what is a book? And she will say, this book. But when she's saying I, she does not mean this is a body, she means I am this one. And she's very happy with that achievement. This is very natural to us. We don't have to learn this, we don't have to go to Vedanta Society and attend lectures to learn that I am the body. It comes naturally to us. Shankaracharya says, Naisargiko ayam loka vyavahara, ahamidam mamedam. I am this, and this is mine. In the introduction to the Brahma Sutras, Adhyasama, Shankaracharya says, it is inborn in us that I am the body. And this is where Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta hits us. You are wrong. You are terribly, terribly wrong. The body is there. And you are also there, but you are not quite the body. You are the body maybe in the most superficial sense. There is a deeper dimension to our being which we are not aware of. And Advaita Vedanta says, if you would realize that, you would realize that you are one with God, the God of religion. Lakshmikantam Kamalanayanam, or when Sri Ramakrishna sings, My Divine Mother. That God of religion is our own inner self. That has to be understood. That has to be realized. And Advaita Vedanta claims we can actually realize this. This is the truth that at our deepest level of existence, we are one with God. The God which religion propounds and which we are supposed to take on faith. You actually need not take it on faith. If you take it on faith, good. But there is a deeper way of knowing this. We can actually know it, not just believe in it. A sadhu in Uttarakhand, in the Himalayas, said, "Do hi raste hain, there are only two ways. Jano ya mano." Mano means believe it, faith. But there's one more way, jano, know it. Mostly in religion, especially here in the West, religion means believing something. Look at the word which is popular for religion today. What is the word? Faith. We learn about different faiths. We take it for granted here, people take it for granted, it's about believing something. But for example, if you take a close look at Buddhism, it's not about believing something really. And so in Advaita Vedanta, it's very clear. There is a way of believing, faith, and it's a grand, grand way. Wonderful. But there is also another way of actually knowing ourselves as we truly are. And that is the path of Advaita Vedanta. How do we know that I am one with God? How can we know that I am actually not the body? That seems to be beyond question. We don't even question it. So Advaita Vedanta has these techniques, prakriyas. I will not go into them. I love talking about them, but I will not talk about them today. Drigdrishya Viveka, Avasthatraya Vichara, the method of the inquiry of the seer and the seen, the method of inquiry into the waking, dreaming and deep sleep, Panchakosha Vichara. These are all techniques, the inquiry into the 5 levels, the sheets of our existence. I think some people are going, Swami, you are talking about that. I'll stop. So these techniques are there, and they are taught to make us begin to appreciate, hey, I am experiencing the body, and I cannot be the body. And the mind will be shown that I am experiencing the mind also, but I am not the mind. I can't help talking about it, just a little bit, just 1 minute. For example, this sets the basis. It sets the basis. Take something like Drisya Viveka. What it simply means is, whatever you experience, whatever we experience, we are not that, we cannot be that. I experience the microphone. Am I the microphone? God forbid. It's something that I see. I experience the book, but I am not the book. I experience the cloth. I am not the cloth. I experience the shirt, but I am not the shirt. I experience the body. I can see it, taste it, smell it, I can hear it, the tummy is rumbling. Body is an object to all my five senses. I can experience it. And therefore, Advaita Vedanta has the cheek, the gall, there's a Jewish word, the chutzpah, to claim that I am not the body because I experience it. It's an object. It's an object. Because I experience it, I am not the body. Mind, thoughts, feelings, emotions, the person that I am, my memory, my personal story, I experience it. It's an object. Because I experience it, I am its experiencer. I cannot be it. I, the experiencing awareness, quite apart from the body, quite apart from the ever-changing mind, that is what Advaita Vedanta is pointing towards. This witness consciousness. And this has to be learned and understood. What is the process in Advaita Vedanta? My real subject is this. What is the process? What is the methodology? The methodology, for example, in yoga. What is the methodology? We have heard about Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama and all that. How you have to sit, how you breathe, how you withdraw your mind, how you focus inward, stabilize and be absorbed. That is the method, 8 limbs of yoga. In deity meditation, the Guru gives you the form of your Ishta Devata, the chosen deity, and shows you how to meditate and gives you a secret mantra, which you repeat by visualizing the deity vividly. That's the method. But what is the method in Vedanta? In Vedanta, the method is Shrodhabhya Mantavya Nididhyasitavya Atma Vade Drashtavya. Vedantic Upanishad it is said, realize the self. Now we know what realize the self means. Not like Victoria. No. Go a little deeper. I am that which knows this body. I am that which knows or experiences the changing mind. I cannot be the body. In dreams, you are not aware of this body. You continue to exist in your dream in some way. But the body which is sleeping on the bed, are you aware of it? No. Your conscious experience continues without being aware of this body. A simple, stunning fact. Understand, I am speaking from our own first-person perspective. I remember one of our Swami Sarvapriyananda, we were in Calcutta University and he was giving a talk. In deep sleep, we have the body is not there. And one professor of physiology very indignantly stood up and said, Swami, what do you mean? I can see the fellow sleeping and snoring. How the body is not there? You are seeing from a third-person perspective from outside. That is the objectifying, the approach of science, for example. But we are asking about your inner experience, your, what might be called in philosophy, phenomenological experience. How do you experience a dream? Even deep sleep is a kind of experience. I call it, and I say that it's not an absence of experience, it's an experience of absence. That's also phenomenological. But in that deep sleep or in a dream, how do you experience yourself? When you recall, when you wake up and look back, when we look back upon our dreams, clearly we were not aware of that sleeping body. So the conclusion is this much you can take away. You can continue as a conscious presence, experiencing presence in your dreams without experiencing a physical body. True? And therefore, you are not stuck to the physical body. You can exist, you can continue to have experiences without the physical body in your experience. If you are a materialist, you will claim, no, the physical body is primary, it is there, and in that somehow you are having an experience. But that apart, from your own point of view, take it further. In deep sleep, what happens? Blank. Are there any thoughts? You are not aware of the body. but you are not even aware of the mind. No thoughts, not even the thought that I am sleeping. If you think that, you are not sleeping. So in deep sleep, the mind is also absent. There is no mind. And yet there is an experience of deep sleep. On that logic, I can say, you continue without the mind. Therefore, you are not stuck to, limited to physical body. You are not stuck to, limited to the mind. Anyway, so these things are taught first. First stage is Shravana. Second stage is Manana. Third stage is Nididhyasana. We have heard this again and again. I am building up to something. There is a point to this. The first stage is Shravana. We know Shravana means to hear, to listen to these truths. So the truths of the Upanishads, the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, these are taught. The teacher, you listen, you can read about it in books, you can hear it from the teacher. Then the second stage is reasoning about, thinking it through, what we have heard. Remember, this is the path of not believing. Mano yajana. Believe it or know it. What is this path? Know it, jhana, believe it, not believe it. If you go to a class on mathematics, there are so many professors are here, and you go to a class and the professor turns and asks you, so do you get it? And if you reply, sir, I don't understand anything, but you are great, I believe you. Your lotus sign, so I believe you. No, that won't work. You have to understand, in this path you have to understand. So to understand, ask why is it problematic? What is your, where are you getting stuck? Ask those questions, every possible question. I remember as a novice, many years ago, or 20 years ago, standing in front of Belur Mutt, our main monastery. I still remember that day. More than 20 years ago, I think 25 years ago or so. One of my Vedanta teachers standing there, we are talking about Vedanta just in front of the main gate of Belur Mutt, and we are walking towards Sarvapriyananda. I said, Maharaj, I have a question, may I ask? I was afraid because he might get offended. And he said something amazing. He said, ask away, whatever question is in your mind you can ask. Far better minds than yours, far more brilliant minds than yours have been asking questions for more than 1,000 years. So all the answers are there, you need not worry. Advaita Vedanta will not crumble because you ask some question. As many questions as you want to ask. So the manana, the next stage is manana, means to cogitate, to think over, to reason, to ask. Then finally, you go into meditation, our subject today, Vedantic meditation. To put it simply, the three stages are, first, what did the teacher say or what does the book say? If I can say to my own satisfaction at least, I can summarize the teachings, then I know, first stage completed. Listening is very important. You might be surprised how little people listen. Ranganathanandaji Maharaj, of revered memory, the 13th president of our order, he used to say in Delhi many years ago, I think in the 60s or so, he would say that one day he gave a talk on Vedanta, and afterwards people were leaving and he was greeting them at the door. One lady said, "Bahut badhiya Swamiji, very good Swamiji, wonderful lecture." And he innocently asked, "What did you like?" The lecture. And she immediately, same confidence, she said, "Kya hum samjhe badi baat hai Vedanta ke liye bahut badhiya." What do I know? It's all big Vedantic talk, but it's still, whatever, it was very good. I remember once I gave a talk and a friend of mine, his English is not too good, he's a monk. Afterwards, very sweet person, afterwards he came and said, "Wonderful talk, and if I could understand it, it would have been even better." So once that part is completed, first part, I know what you have, I heard what you said, I heard. But then what is the second problem? The first problem is, I've heard or not? Yes, I've heard. I can tell you. This is, in earlier days, when we learned also, there was an emphasis on memorizing. I don't want to hear it in your words. No value. Tell me the original Sanskrit, teacher would say. And there are some strict teachers, leave the class, unless you can repeat what you earlier. So today we'll empty 9/10 of the hall if we insist on making such rigoristic. So first is, I know what you said. Second is, do I understand it? Second, I know what you said, but I may not understand. I may have so many objections, so many queries, so that has to be clarified. Second stage. At the end of the second stage, how do I know that I've reached the end of the second stage? I can say honestly, I know what you said, I know what the teacher said, I know what the text said, and I get it. It's clear to me. Then what remains then? If I've understood it, that's the end? No. At this point, many may ask this question. I know, all the time I ask. People have begun to understand it. The immediate question then is, okay, I get it intellectually. I get it intellectually, but you can always hear the but coming. Intellectually I understand it, but not in my life. It's not a living reality. It still is a fine theory. I've learned some cool, really cool philosophy. But what about my life? It's not. The whole purpose was to attain enlightenment, overcome suffering and all of that. That's not happening. So for that third nididhyasana, Vedantic meditation. Why I'm saying this is, Vedantic meditation you cannot directly enter. Other types of meditation, Vipassana meditation, following the mindfulness, you can directly enter it, straight away. Only qualification is, are you breathing or not? And breathing, highly recommended. You should continue to breathe. All you have to do is pay attention to your breath. Fine. Vipassana meditation starts for you, but Vedantic meditation does not and should not, cannot start until you have completed Shravana Manana. Completed means got some basic hold on that. Then you begin to turn inwards and see that which I have heard, Shravana, that which I have understood, Manana, how to assimilate that, how to make it real for me, a living truth for me. As living as when Victoria says with full confidence, I am this. That much confidence I should have to say that I am Brahman. At least honestly to myself, I should be able to claim I am the witness consciousness which I have read about, which I have understood. It's real for me. Once you say it's real for you, once you feel the benefit, when you see that it's real, the benefits will flow automatically. That Swami Vivekananda calls assimilation. Assimilation. He says, do it again and again till it tingles with every drop of your breath. I am that. Sri Ramakrishna says, whenever, on 2 or 3 occasions in the Gospel, when they are talking about Vedanta, he listens carefully. And at the end, he just comments. These words are good, but must be assimilated. In Bengali, he said, Kothagulo bhalo, dharana hawa chai. So that is the third stage. That's why, when I say Vedantic meditation, must keep in our minds already to some extent, and here most people are there who have been coming to Vedanta classes, you know. So I have some idea, some clarity about Vedanta. Next, what do I do? So let's give a little taste of Vedantic meditation. Let's explore this Vedantic meditation. There's a special name for it, Nididhyasana. In yoga it is called Dhyana. In Advaita Vedanta, Nididhyasana. Why? Because it's a very ancient word. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this word is used, Nididhyasitavyam. Meditate upon it. Now Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, apart from his foundational commentaries on the Gita, on the Brahma Sutras, and of course the Upanishads, he wrote a number of texts, some of them were introductory texts. In one of them, he dwells on great length on Nididhyasana, Vedantic meditation, which is the Aparokshanubhuti. I'm not going to teach Aparokshanubhuti here. Those who are interested, you can see on YouTube there's a whole series of 44 lectures available, verse by verse, word by word. I've gone through the whole text. But here, what I'm going to point out, what Adi Shankaracharya has said about Vedantic meditation, Nididhyasana. And the way he has said it here is very interesting. He has contrasted it with yogic meditation from Patanjali Yoga. A little mischievously also. Once in a while he makes fun. But remember, even when he is making fun of yogic meditation, he is not disparaging it. Later on he will say all these are useful, these are foundational practices. Vedantic meditation is a higher practice. So what is Vedantic meditation? Let's see. A few examples we will see. He gives 15 examples. 15. Let's take one of them and see how much we can do in this time. But we'll get a very good idea of what he means. He said there are these 15 ways you can practice. And how does he teach them? He gives a list. And when you look at the list, you begin to see what he is doing. All the words, all the terms in the list are borrowed from yoga. They are not Vedantic terms. All of them are borrowed from yoga. He takes up each yogic term and twists the meaning and changes it into a Vedantic meaning. So you get the yogic meaning of it and you get the Vedantic meaning with a deeper understanding. And remember, he is not pulling down or disparaging the yogic interpretation, because at the end he will say those things have to be practiced. Foundational. What are the 15? Just to get an idea about the list. The verses 102 and 3 in this book, Aparokshanubhuti. Yamo hi niyamastyago maunam deshascha kalata asanam moolavandhascha deha samyam cha drikstitihi prana sanyamanam chaiva pratyaharascha dharana atma dhyanam samadhischa proktanyangani vaikramat. 15 aspects or 15 examples for Vedantic meditation. What are they? You will notice in this list, 8 of them are borrowed from Patanjali Yoga and the rest are borrowed from other yogic texts. Yama and Niyama. Do you recognize the Patanjali Yoga? Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. And what is the list? 1. Yama, moral practices. Niyama, moral disciplines. Tyaga, renunciation. Mauna, silence. These are all practices to be done. Desha, auspicious or proper place for meditation. Kala, time, auspicious time for meditation. Asana, sitting. Moolavanta, the yogic locks. Those who teach Hatha Yoga, they know these. These are locks, physical locks in the body, which help you to make the posture and breathing more powerful. Yogic locks, Moolavanta. Deha Samya, posture of the body. Drik Sthiti, where do you keep your eyes? It's a whole science startup in yoga. 10 already. Prana Sangyamanam, Pranayama, breathing. 11. Pratyahara, withdrawing the senses from the world. Dharana, focus, directing the attention continuously, deliberately. Notice one thing. In all meditation, in bhakti, in yoga, in Vedanta, in Buddhist meditation, Jain meditation, even Christian or Sufi meditation, every technique of meditation, there is one thing common. You are controlling and directing attention in various ways. This is the common thing. So dharana, here you are beginning to use the attention now. Then this deepens into number 14. Atma dhyana, meditation of the self, or dhyana, meditation. And the last one, the full absorption, samadhi. Now, one thing. In yogic meditation, all 15 or all 8 in Patanjali Yoga, or all 15 here, are compulsory. You can't say that I will only breathe. I'm already breathing, so I'm a great meditator. No. All of them have to be done in sequence. Then only you can meditate. But in Vedantic meditation, any one of them is enough to take you to enlightenment. How so? We will see. Just as an example, let's do the first one. Yama. Sarvam brahmeti vidyana indriyagrama sanyamaha yamoyam iti samprokto abhyasaniya muhurmuhu. Yama are the basic disciplines. Do you remember Yama? This ahimsa. In Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, the 5 basic moral disciplines. Ahimsa, non-violence. Second, there is a trick here. They're saying 8 limbs of yoga, but in the first limb they put in 5. So many things are being put in there. So, non-violence. Then, satya, truth. Then, brahmacharya. Literally celibacy, but control of senses. Control of senses. Brahmacharya. Then aparigraha, first is that non-stealing. Asteya, aparigraha. Non-stealing and non-acceptance of gifts. Not taking what is not yours. And even when people are giving gifts, and that one is a little confusing for people. Why should I not take gifts? Remember, these were designed for ascetics. And ascetics, monks, they were entirely dependent upon the gifts of society. Even today we are. The food that I am eating, you are giving. That I am getting, you are giving. So basically, dependent on gifts. You might say that's a hard life. You'd be amazed to see how many gifts are offered. So if you actually start accepting all the gifts that are offered, you'll be overloaded with gifts. So that's why this stricture is there. Don't accept gifts beyond what you need. These 5 practices: non-violence, truth, sense control, non-stealing, and non-acceptance of gifts. So these are fundamental. Now, Shankaracharya says, what is yama? Instead of mentioning any of these, he says, Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnana. When you realize there's one divinity everywhere, the Advaitic teaching, that Brahman which you discover inside is the same reality everywhere outside also. Ishavasya Upanishad, the first line of Ishavasya Upanishad. Mahatma Gandhi said, if all of Hinduism were to disappear, and the first line of the first mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad was still there, all of Hinduism would still be there. So what is this tremendous first line? Ishavasya midagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. And then tena taklena manjita agvidakasya srittana. Ishavasya midam sarvam. Whatever you experience in this world, whatever is there in this world, idam sarvam. Idam means here, this, sarvam means everything. Moving, unmoving, living, non-living, every, all living beings, all human beings, all other living beings, all insentient objects also. Cover it all with God, with divinity. There is a divine presence pervading everything. And Shankaracharya writes a fantastic commentary. He says, cover means what? Forcefully, mentally you think everything is God somehow. He says, no. He says, cover means uncover. It's already there. You are not imposing God on it. You have to uncover. God is already there. Uncover means how will I uncover God? Is it like a box I have to open? He says, no, it means discover. And this is a process. Like we discussed the process, whatever I experience, I am not that. That's a process of discovery of what I am. So anyway, discover God in everything that you experience. Once you do that, Indriya Grama Sanyama. Automatically these 5 disciplines which the yogis try to practice with so much struggle, they will come to you automatically. By this one attitude that I am dealing with divinity. This divine presence that we feel here, if I can import it out into my life outside. The family members, with the community members, with the presence of divinity which you experience in a temple, in a meditation. All of us have experienced this sacred presence sometime or the other in our life, maybe a few times. A kind of sublimity, upliftment. Can we maintain that? If we could maintain that in our day-to-day interactions with people. Imagine, would we have to control our anger? No. You are dealing with divinity itself. How can you get annoyed or irritated at God? Your mind, our mind would be so uplifted that the little irritations of the world would not bother us. It would be fun for us. Would you be envious of God? Would there be any cause for depression? Would there be any cause for violence? Any cause for telling an untruth? How can I tell an untruth in the presence of the divine? So all the moral disciplines, they will come to you automatically by the pursuit of this one attitude. If you try to maintain this attitude, if we try to maintain it in our dealings with the world. Before food we chant Brahma Arpanam Brahma Havi. That's the exact meaning of this, what Shankaracharya is saying. That divine presence, if we try to feel it in a moment to moment in life, imagine how life would be transformed. all the moral disciplines which people struggle to get would naturally flow to us. You would have to struggle to do something else. It would come naturally. So that's what he says, Indriya Grama Sanyama. The control of all the senses, the 5 senses, which yogis struggle with so strongly, with so fiercely, they come automatically. And this kind of meditation, this is a meditation. And notice the difference. Yogic meditation you cannot practice with open eyes. You have to sit. You can't walk around. There's a kind of walking meditation, but that walking meditation is also a lot of inward attention is there. You can't walk on, say, in Times Square and try to do that walking meditation. You can for a very advanced master, otherwise not recommended. Yogic meditation, you have to close your eyes, shut out the world. But here, seeing the divinity everywhere, how will you see the divinity everywhere if you shut your eyes? Everywhere has to be present before us. Then only you can feel the divinity everywhere. So this is meditation. We can do it with closed eyes, do it with open eyes. This is another interesting feature of Vedantic meditation. It can be done all the time. It's a change in paradigm and not actually a change in the yogi. That thing we chanted, Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam. When you say Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam and all of that, that description of Vishnu in the iconography we see. The yogi is supposed to close the eyes, shut out the world and visualize that in the heart. So if you try to visualize that, you have to shut out the world. And that can be possible only at fixed times and places where you're sitting and practicing this. But Vedantic meditation, you can do like that, but you can also do with open eyes. Another, Tyaga, renunciation. So renunciation, let me say what Shankaracharya says, 106. Tyaga prapancha rupasya chidatmatva avalokanat tyago hi mahatam pujya sadhyo mokshamayo yataha. I skipped over niyama, if somebody is wondering what happened. One more, I'm just giving a sample. Tyaga means renunciation. What kind of renunciation is meant in Vedantic meditation? The abandonment of the illusory universe by realizing it as the all-conscious Atman, that everything is Brahman. Chidatmatva avalokana, by realizing, by seeing it is all Brahman. That itself is renunciation. Not that actually physically you have to run away from your house to a mountain top. What is Tyaga? What is Tyaga in the yogic way? What is Tyaga in Advaita Vedanta? The difference. The usual Tyaga, renunciation we hear, is you become a monk like this. So you run away from your family and your career and all, and you become a monk. You give up family life, you give up possessions, you give up engagement with the world, don't have a job or a property or anything, and become a monk. And that's what we know, that's what we are as monks. So that's what people think they are. And it is necessary. But physically, is it necessary or not? Sri Ramakrishna would say, Mone Pyar. So that renunciation, the real renunciation is in the mind. So whether you are physically actually sitting in a monastery or a cave, or you are in the house or in the office, if one renounces mentally, then one can focus on the spiritual life. Monk, the mind must become monk-like. This story I told once, monkey mind must become monk mind. Do you know the story? The story is, there was a monkey which was stealing bananas from a farmer. And the farmer thought how to teach this monkey a lesson. So what he did was he took the bananas and he put them in a narrow neck jar. The jar had a very narrow neck. He put them in one by one. And the monkey was sitting on the tree and watching him. As the farmer went away, glaring at the monkey also was watching him. But the farmer can't stay there all the time, so he went back to his hut. And the monkey crept down from the tree and rushed towards that, put his hand inside the jar and pulled out. Was going to pull out, but it got stuck. So it's a narrow neck thing. And the farmer is now rushing at him. He was waiting for the opportunity, rushing at him with a stick. How can the poor monkey escape a beating? How can the poor monkey escape a beating? The monkey can escape the beating only by becoming a monk. What does the monkey have to do? Let go of the banana. That he will not let go. Then samsara catches him, a nicely thrashing. So that I gave the story. This is monkey mind becoming a monk mind. Mentally give up the pursuit of this. Again, don't mistake me. Mentally giving up the pursuit of worldly goals does not mean now you're going to abandon, resign from your job and abandon your family and walk out. No, no, no. What it means is God realization, enlightenment is my goal in life. And that one can do as a sannyasi, one can do as a householder, whatever, in whichever station of life. My ultimate goal of life is enlightenment. And that actually most of us, we have. Otherwise we wouldn't be here. Why are we here after all? On a beautiful evening in Toronto, listening to a 5,000-year-old philosophy. Because of that, we have spiritual yearning. That's why we are here. So that is what is meant by renunciation. Make that the ultimate goal, the actual purpose of life. So monkey mind must become monk mind. But here, that is the yogic approach. Internally renounce. But here Shankaracharya is saying something else. That is also not real renunciation. He says real renunciation is Chidatmatva Avalokanat. Realize the same thing, that it is all Brahman. The moment you realize that, that is renunciation. There I love to tell this story. Many of you know already. That's the problem with YouTube. Whatever I say, they all know. And I can't keep coming up with new things. What I am saying is very, very old, 5,000 years old. At least 1400 years old, Shankaracharya said. I can only put it in new ways, but the teaching is the same. So the story is of the princess of Kashi. You know, many of you know that. But it's very relevant here. That there was this kingdom in which a play was staged in the court of the king. And in the play, there was a role for the princess of Kashi. Who will play the princess of Kashi? And the queen said, the princess of Kashi was supposed to be a little girl. And so the prince is a little boy, he's very cute, dress him up as a princess, and he can play the role of the princess of Kashi. So they dressed the prince in the dress of a princess, and he just had to stand there. And he looked so nice, his mother said, the queen said, paint a portrait of him before he takes off that dress. And so they painted. These days, phone, like that, take a picture. They painted a portrait of him, and they wrote the princess of Kashi and dated it. Many years passed. 15 years later, the prince was quite grown up now, 20 years old, and he was doing his princely things and whatnot, riding and archery and so. One day he was exploring the palace, and he went to a cellar underground, and he found, looking at the old things, and he found this old painting, and he wiped the dust of the painting. He looked at that, and he saw this princess of Kashi, date 15 years ago. Oh, she's my age. And he fell in love with her. And he said, I have to marry this princess of Kashi. Otherwise I will not be happy. Now he was a little shy, couldn't tell his mother. His mother and father both noticed, king and queen noticed, something is wrong with the prince. He is not happy, he is going out riding and all of that. He's not doing, he's just sitting and moping and writing poems or whatever. Then the wise old minister approached him. Prince, what ails you? What is your problem? Tell me. You can confide in me. And the prince said, no, I am in love. Oh, that's good. Who is she? Oh, she is the princess of Kashi. Oh, princess, very good. Where did you meet this princess of Kashi? I haven't met her, but I saw her picture. This is an old picture. Then she was a child, but I can see by the date we are the same age. Then the minister said, princess of Kashi, old picture. Can you tell me where you found the picture? Come with me. Took the minister down into the cellar and showed the picture. This is the princess here. The minister saw the picture and said, Prince, you have to sit down. This is not the princess of Kashi. The prince said, whoever she is, I will marry her. No. And and he told the whole story, how the drama was staged, and he was dressed as the princess of Kashi and so on, all of that, how the portrait came to be painted, and he said, "Prince, that thou art, Tattvamasi." Now, what happened to the desire for the princess of Kashi? It went away immediately. Why did it go away? Because he cannot marry the princess of Kashi? No. Because the princess of Kashi was already married off? No. Because he realized there was no princess of Kashi apart from him. He alone, though it looks different, it is nothing other than he himself. This world is our princess of Kashi. Thinking it is different from ourselves, we run after it or we run away from it. Swami Vivekananda says the world is dead in itself. We breathe life into it and then we run after it or we run away from it. Then it becomes samsara for us. The moment you realize that same consciousness appears in all these forms, I am virtually that. That is nothing different from me. Then there is nothing to accept or reject in the world. Samsara stops. That is the highest tyaga. If you have that kind of tyaga, the highest renunciation of knowledge, of enlightenment, if we have that, immediately moksha, he says, sadhyo moksha maya. Immediate enlightenment, immediate moksha is there. This kind of renunciation. Not that you have to renounce the world and put on geru and sit in a mountain cave for 40 years, then you will get moksha. No, instantaneously. This is moksha. To realize this entire universe is an emanation of the consciousness which I am. Not one thing here, living or non-living, is different from me. What is there to hate? What is there to desire when I am? This is all is but one, Swami Vivekananda says. This is how Shankaracharya changes the meaning of tyaga. One more. We have time. 5 minutes? Yes. One more. And paradoxically, ironically, it's about silence. So I'm going to speak a little bit about silence. Silence is a practice. Very important. We do not know how much energy, I know because I speak a lot. We don't know how much energy we lose by speaking, by talk, uncontrolled talk. We talk a lot without necessity and then we are exhausted. Talking takes away not only physical energy, a lot of psychic energy. The mind also becomes light if we talk, superficial if we talk. There was a great philosopher, I don't know if he's still alive, he was in, but great only if you know him, otherwise he has no publications, no books, nothing. Swami Lokeshwaranandaji in Ramakrishna Mission Institute of Culture asked him to stay there, and others were critical. This man, he's not giving lectures, he's not writing papers, not writing books. Why is he staying here? Why has Maharaj given him permission? And one of my friends, a monk, actually had this doubt. So he went and asked the Swami, why are you asking him to stay here? He's unproductive, he's not doing anything. Swami, of course, knew the value of this. He said, a few such people should be there in every ashram. Anyway, my friend who is a monk, he was not satisfied. He went and asked him, this professor, sir, you explain everything so beautifully when I ask you. Why don't you give lectures or write books? Many people will be benefited. It's so brilliant. People don't know you unless they come to you. And his answer was very dramatic. So his answer was, Maharaj, those who talk a lot can't write. Those who write many books, they don't think. I think. Deep thinker. So, silence. Mauna. Mauna means silence and starts with mauna of speech, controlling the speech. Mahatma Gandhi used to, one day a week, Swami Ranganathanandaji at one time, I think one day a week he would not speak at all. I have seen monks. Now, one has to be careful with this. Physical mauna, silence, is not difficult really. One can practice it, but it can lead to suppression. I have myself, in my experience, I know a monk who started keeping silence, and I met him once. So we were in the same room one night in one ashram, far senior to me, but he was silent, he was not speaking. And he would communicate with gestures. So at night when I went to sleep, and Swami is in the next bed, whole night speaking. What is that? Suppression. By force. If I suppress it, see how the subconscious mind plays. The mind is talking. The mind is talking. There is a very interesting joke about Zen Buddhists, about the nature of mind. So, some monks are sitting outside the monastery, big monastery, on top of which is a flag which is moving, flag flying in the wind. The youngest monk says, "Look, look, the flag is moving." Senior monk says, "Oh, you are so immature. It's not the flag which is moving. It is the wind which is moving." More subtle understanding. The senior most monk who is sitting there, "Oh, you are also immature. It is not the wind which is moving, it's not the flag which is moving, it's your mind which is moving." Deep understanding, very good. But above all of them, very senior, retired old monk, in his room up in the monastery, looks out of the window. He said, "Tongues are moving too much. Stop talking." So, silence of the words, but silence of mind is the actual thing. So what is the correct way to practice maunam? The correct way is balanced control and controlled speech. The best formula I heard was hitam cha satyam cha hitam cha mitam cha. Satyam, it must be true. These three filters used for our speech. We see whether it's true or not. Or it's gossip. Fake news. Gossip. No. Is it true? No matter how exciting, I should not share it unless it's true. Second, is it of any benefit to anybody? Hitam. And then third, true and beneficial, even there, economical. Few words, mitam, controlled in speech. Satyam, hitam, mitam. That's a very beautiful balance. Shankaracharya here says, as usual, no. What is silence? Very beautiful verses. He gives, on silence he gives 3 verses. He speaks 3 verses on silence. Yasmad vacho nivattante aprapya manasasaha yan maunam yogi virgamyam tadbhavet sarvada buddha. From where words return, unable to describe. The mind returns, unable to think about it. What is that? Brahman. Brahman, we always just say beyond words, beyond mind, though we use a lot of words. Beyond words, beyond mind. That which yogis try to realize, the wise ones, by which he means the non-dualists, the Advaita Vedantists, they become that, they are that silence. Silence is not something you practice. Brahman is the real silence. See, what we call Purna, the full, the infinite, the Buddhists, they call Shunyam, the empty. Recently in Halifax, there were 3 Tibetan monks who came to talk, we discussed it. And one of them, we were discussing and see how the Buddhist Shunya and the Advaitic Purna are actually obverse and reverse of the same thing. So on the Sharadanandaji, the great master, he says, what the Buddhists call Shunya, we call Purna. That emptiness, that void, that great silence, you are that already. And what the Advaitic tries to do, Vedantic tries to do, is to recognize that, and you are that, stay there. That is what you are. That is the Vedantic practice of silence. Then 2 more verses. Vacho yasman nivattante tadbhaktum kena shakyate. That from which words return cannot attain, Brahman. Who can speak about that? So words cannot express the absolute. Then talk about samsara, about the world. Prapancho yadi vaktabhya sopi shabda vivarjitaha. You're going to talk about this world. Prapancha means this universe. I'll talk about that. I can't talk about the absolute. I'll talk about this. Shankaracharya says you cannot. Whatever really you want to express, any deep truth in this universe, you cannot express it in language. What does it mean? It's now we are beginning to see in this 20th century and 21st century, as science advances, we are hitting paradoxes at the cutting edge of every science. Mathematics, Gödel's incompleteness theorem. In physics, relativity, uncertainty. So in every field, recently in Manhattan there was a workshop in the New School, which is a well-known university in Manhattan. It's not so new, but it's a very well-known university. They had a workshop on unknowability. Unknowability in physics, unknowability in mathematics, unknowability in literature, unknowability in history, unknowability. The history professor was from Cambridge, and one English university. He said something really worth remembering. He said, in history we have a saying, the future is fixed, the past is always changing. What does that mean? About the past, as you study more and more, every time some theory or the other is fashionable, then that goes out of fashion, a new theory comes out about something in the past. So the story keeps changing. What was history keeps changing. Future is fixed, past is always changing. Anyway, unknowability in history, unknowability in sociology. The professor of sociology, I did not know. There is a new branch, can you believe it? There is a new branch in sociology, it's called ignorance studies. Ignorance studies, study of ignorance. And it's a very serious study. They are having, I think, Routledge or somebody is going to publish Handbook of Ignorance. Prapancho yadi vattavya sopi shabda vivarchita. No language is adequate to express. Brahman is simple. You can talk about it, Satchidananda. Try to talk about Maya, nothing you say will be true. Maya is much more complicated. So, iti vatat bhaved maunam sata, iti vatat bhaved maunam satam sahaja sangitam, gira maunam tu balanam prayuktam brahmavadibhi. So he ends by saying, so this is the real maunam, sahaja sangitam. This is natural maunam, natural silence, which has nothing really to do with whether you are talking or not talking. Even in the midst of talking, this natural silence is still there. And for those who have not realized this natural silence, even when they are physically silent, mind is talking at night, talk. Then what about the silence practiced by the yogis? So Shankaracharya here, he has this little pinch and a twist in the tail. Last he says, gira maunam tu bhalana. What about silence of the speech? I will not speak for 1 day, I will not speak for 7 days, I will not speak for 6 months. He says, these are for children. Not speaking, that is practice for children. Prayuktam, from the point of Brahmavadi, from the point of view of the non-dualists, these are practices for children. Another one he says later on, pranayama. You know, in yoga we do pranayama. In puja also, you breathe into a count of say 4. Minimum pranayama is this. Breathe into a count of 4. Hold it like this. Then hold on to for a count of 16. Then release it for a count of 8. Then breathe in again 4. Hold to 16. And then release for... I'm not teaching you pranayama. Some of you are trying it out. Don't do that. Then release it for a count of 8. This is one pranayama. It's a minimum pranayama. One pranayama. And then you can increase the count in that proportion. Shankaracharya says, no. What is real pranayama? Non-dual pranayama. Non-dual pranayama is breathing out, the world is an appearance. It has no inherent existence. Breathing in, I am Brahman. Holding the breath, stay there. I am Brahman. And he says, this is the real pranayama. And then again, little pinch. He says, what about the other pranayama, this one? He says, Grana Pidana, that is torture of the nose. The torture is the nose. Again, remember, he is not against any of this. At the very end, he will say all of them are useful to stabilize and quieten the mind. steady the mind body, absolutely important. But there is this higher understanding. I will tell a story and end with this. This pranayama, that world is an appearance, I am Brahman or God only is real, this is pranayama. Is this real or just saying this? It sounds nice in theory. Actually, does it happen? It does. This story I heard from Ashwini Maharaj, he is in Jairamati now. He told me. He had heard it from Swami Shraddhananda, who was in our Vedanta Society of Sacramento, Bhiman Maharaj. When he was a very young Swami, Shraddhananda, many, many years ago, at that time Swami Shuddhananda, not Shuddhananda, Subodhananda, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, whose picture you can see there, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. On the leftmost bottom, on the leftmost, the last picture at the bottom, that is Swami Subodhananda. Very childlike Swami. He was a disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, enlightened, Jivan Mukta. He used to sit on the veranda where Swami Vivekananda's room is there, that veranda facing the Ganga from which you can see Calcutta on the other side, and he would read Adhyatma Ramayana. Bhiman Maharaj, Shraddhananda, he saw, he would sit and read and look up and laugh. And then read again, look up and laugh. He was very curious. He went on. He said, Maharaj, I cannot restrain my curiosity. What do you want to know? What are you reading? What are you seeing? And why are you laughing? So he said, I am reading in this book. It's a very Vedantic book. I am reading Jagat Mithya. The world is false. And I look up and I see outside Calcutta, the world, Chayi Tibi, there are mountains of ashes. That's absolutely valueless. There's nothing there. And I burst out laughing. Then I again see Brahma Satyam. Same book says Brahman alone is real. And see, I look up and see the same thing. Shop Sri Ramakrishna. Everything is pervaded by the Lord Sri Ramakrishna. And I burst out laughing. The inner reality, what we perceive as the world, good and bad, this is an appearance. Its inner reality is divinity. So the same reality which we are seeing, the same thing that Subodhananda is also seeing. But look at how it matches Shankaracharya's definition of pranayama. Realize this appearance as false, that is breathing out. Realize that I am Brahman, everything is Brahman, that is breathing in, and stay there, that is holding the breath. As Sri Ramakrishna said, we have to dive deep. That is the purpose of meditation. I pray on this auspicious occasion to the Lord. May the Lord bless us. May He give us sadbuddhi, our desire to be enlightened in this very life. May our meditation be deep. May we see the Lord with eyes closed and with eyes open. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much. Thank you.